Streaming from the 22 News Broadcast Center. This is 22 News at 4 p.m. Digital Edition.
Good Thursday afternoon, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Nick Oresko. Your top stories in just one moment. But first, a look at traffic and weather with 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Brian Lapis. Brian, some pesky clouds with us today.
Yeah, we really thought that we would get more sunshine than we saw today. However, at least we've stayed dry. And, all things considered, it's been a comfortable day with temperatures for the most part in the 70s. And hey, look at this. We've got all green lines on our traffic map here, which means that there are no traffic troubles. I-91 from Deerfield to Springfield looking good. We've also got smooth going on the Pike from the I-84 merge all the way to the Berkshire. So we're in good shape here traffic-wise. As I mentioned, it's been a cool day here today. Let's take a look at temperatures, shall we? Low 70s up and down the valley, 73 in Greenfield, 72 in Springfield. And we're in the 60s right now in the Berkshires. And as Nick was mentioning, the clouds have been pretty much socked in over the lower Pioneer Valley. There has been some clearing in Franklin County and northern Berkshire County. And as the sun gets lower in the sky, we expect that there will be some more clearing here tonight. We'll show you with our 22 News Storm Team Skycast.
Steward Healthcare signed definitive agreements to sell 4 of the 6 Massachusetts hospitals it has been working to offload since filing for bankruptcy in May. The company announced that it has finalized asset purchase agreements for Lifespan to buy 2 of their hospitals in Taunton and Fall River, and for Lawrence General Hospital to buy the Holy Family Hospital facilities in Methuen and Haverhill. Steward is still working to finalize agreement related to the sale of their medical centers in Brockton and Brighton to Boston Medical Center. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health has announced the second human case of Triple E in the state. The case comes from a Plymouth County woman in her 30s. A second Triple E case in a horse was also announced out of Plymouth County. The DPH says there is no risk level changes related to these findings. Triple E is spread through infected mosquitoes. Police in New Hampshire pursued a man where he was eventually shot and killed on the I-95 bridge that connects Maine to New Hampshire. The incident happened early this morning. Authorities said an 8-year-old child was also found shot to death inside the man's car. The bridge reopened after being closed for nearly 7 hours. Authorities believe the suspect killed a woman at her home in Troy, New Hampshire, and drove to the bridge where he encountered police officers. An investigation is underway. A U.S. Supreme Court has rejected the Biden administration's plea seeking to revive the latest multi-billion-dollar plan to tackle federal student loan debt. The new SAVE plan would have lowered payments for millions of people while lawsuits make their way through lower courts. That includes a provision to reduce monthly-based repayments from 10% to 5% of the person's income. Last year, the justices rejected an earlier plan that would have wiped away more than $400 billion in student loan debt. Back now with meteorologist Brian Lapis. Yeah, a cool day today. It looks like this cool trend will be continuing for the next couple days.
Yeah, I was just looking at numbers for tomorrow, and it looks like we're going to be in the same neighborhood in terms of 70s here for tomorrow. In the meantime, we've got mostly cloudy skies. We've got a light breeze out of the northeast happening right now, and that makes that air kind of bump up against the Berkshires, and it brings us the clouds. I do expect that there'll be some breaks in the clouds as we head into the later afternoon and evening hours. In fact, I'm looking over the camera right now, and I'm seeing some blue sky in Greenfield, and that kind of matches up with our forecast here. So with that said, gradual clearing here as we head into the evening hours. So just some scattered clouds during the evening hours. Overnight, going to have to keep an eye on areas west of the Connecticut River as some clouds try to return. And yeah, there might even be a couple of sprinkles, I would say southwest of Northampton. So western Hampshire, western Hamden, and southern Berkshire County. There's a little weather disturbance to our west that could throw a couple of raindrops our way here early tomorrow morning. Shouldn't be a big deal, but don't be surprised if you see a couple of raindrops. And then it's another sun-cloud combination here for tomorrow with temperatures topping out in the low to mid-70s. We've got rain back in the forecast for at least part of the weekend. We'll update that with our 22 News Storm Team forecast on 22 News at 5.
Head coach Gerard Mayo says Jacoby Brissett will be his starting quarterback when the Patriots play their season opener against Cincinnati. Brissett beat out first-round draft pick Drake May, even though Mayo said earlier this week that May outplayed Brissett during the preseason and had closed the gap for the starting quarterback job. The 31-year-old is heading into his 9th NFL season. He signed a one-year deal with New England in March. The Pats will play their first game against the Bengals in Cincinnati on September 8th. The Basketball Hall of Fame has added a charity basketball game to Enshrinement Weekend. The Coaches vs. Cancer game will feature the back-to-back NCAA national champion UConn Huskies taking on the Rhode Island Rams. The game will be played on Monday, October 14th at Mohegan Sun. The game follows the Class of 2024 enshrinement ceremony, which will be held on Sunday, October 13th in Springfield. Here's what's coming up tonight on 22 News starting at 5 o'clock. This week, workers from the Pioneer Valley Transit Authority are expected to reject a contract proposal. We'll explain what you need to know if PVTA employees go on strike. Plus, as the state primaries approach next week, a warning about a new voter registration scam. And the TSA is expected to screen over 17 million travelers for Labor Day. We'll have what you need to know if you plan on flying out this weekend, Brian.
Traffic looks good here, Nick. I-91 north and southbound looking smooth and no major delays on I-90 from Berkshires to Palmer, although a little delay there westbound between Palmer and Sturbridge has just popped up. But regardless, travel seems to be moving along fine as we head into the evening commute. We'll update rain chances for the weekend on 22 News at 5.
Okay, Brian, thank you. And thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. Latest updates on news and weather anytime on our website and the free 22 News app.